mama's going to show you something that she does that's really cool. And y'all going to sit down and y'all going to listen. Y'all hear me? Because if you don't, you don't get this spoon. Now sit down and listen. Shut up.
Okay.
Okay, mama, show them everything you got, honey. Show them your hobby.
Okay, my hobby is collecting spices. Yes, we do cook with some, but most of them I have just because they excite me and they're unique. A lot of them are. For instance, like over here, this is full all the way back in here. And if you notice, there's some of them a little weird. I mean, they really are. I've got ketchup. And look, I got, here's honey mustard and here's relish, okay? Here's some other ones. These are the most ones I cook with. These are the warmer spices like you use when you're baking. But there's all kinds of stuff up in here. Some are from faraway lands.
Now listen here, you bunch of heifers. My mom's going to show you some more about these spices. They are heifers. My mom's going to show you some more about these spices. So y'all go sit down and y'all go listen. If I hear any of y'all saying something ignorant, I will find you. Take it away, Bill. Now you get over here and you say what you got to say or I'm going to spank you.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. It said, this commenter said, tell mom we love her and we support her love of spices. I want to start collecting salt and pepper shakers myself. I have a few, but I want hundreds of them. Can she show us her top 5 favorite spices or the ones that were weird that surprised her?
Okay.
And sing.
Let me show you something. This is a salt and pepper shaker. It used to belong to my aunt, who I shared a name with. And when you turn it off, the salt and pepper shaker comes up. And it actually has S&P on it.
Period.
Oh, Lord. And then these are salt and pepper shakers too that look like milk cans from back in the day.
You know, when she was born.
Your real mama.
No, that wasn't nice. Tell them about, they want to know what that is over there, Bill.
Oh, this is just a thing that I got for the Instapot. It shows you like how to cook certain things on. And I wanted to get this helps with knowing what to use and how long to cook it and all that type of stuff. How I got started is I've always had a love for cooking and spices. But when I was reading in the Bible, and I know some people might have something to say about that, but when I was reading the Bible and it was talking about using the spices for the tabernacle and stuff like that, I was wondering why it mentioned 2 different spices, 2 different types of cinnamon. That's because I only thought it was one cinnamon. I didn't realize how many spices have no spices like it, but from another country. So, like for instance, this is Vietnamese cinnamon and this is Saigon cinnamon. But more or less, in the stores you'll get a cheaper type, more or less. But these are stuff that we use all the time. The cinnamon they were talking about, because these cinnamon sticks, I don't know if I have this open or not, I might not have. No way it's coming off, I don't. But this is regular cinnamon sticks like you find in the grocery store, regular grocery stores. And where we live, it took a long time to get certain spices that they have. But anyway, this type of cinnamon is also known as Mexican cinnamon. It's got a lot of, if I can get one out. I just put it in there like that. This is cinnamon inside of cinnamon. And it's very brittle-like. You can break this part. Whereas this cinnamon, you pretty much need to be a lumberjack to get this part. I ain't playing. And so if you need ground cinnamon, it's best to buy it already ground and using this to grind because they'll tear up your machine. But anyway, this is what that cinnamon is. And by the way, Mexican cinnamon is different from the regular cinnamon you're used to. So if you try a dish from Mexico with the cinnamon in it, if you want the same taste, you're going to have to find the cinnamon to use for it. Because this is going to taste totally different from what you've tried. Now, if you're trying a recipe from there and this is all the cinnamon you got and you haven't tasted it before, go ahead and use it. Because you won't know no difference. Because you've never had this one. But all I know is if you do try it, you need to use the same cinnamon because to get the same taste. This one's milder than this one. And this one, usually, it's really, really strong. But anyway, to go on and show you a few other spices I have. A lot of people back in the day, this is called asafoetida. And
She just cussed us out.
no, I did not. But what people don't realize is this is like a...
How did it steal? Mildred?
You can barely see it because they put it in
If
white
you
letters.
don't, no, she's the worst.
That went to y'all, that was to her. This was like a gum, but people used to put it in a bag for fever. They called it an acidity bag, and it stank. And this doesn't smell any better. But anyway, that's what if you ever heard of that or you hear your parents or grandparents talk about that, this is what this spice is for. Has it been opened? No, because I don't want the smell to stink. But anyway, this is purple dulce, and it's actually seaweed. It's a pretty color. It's a very pretty color.
Bring it closer. I'm trying to teach her how to be a. Yeah, put your hand behind it, Bill. Oh. There you go. See? Influencer. Let the Lord use you.
This one right here is called kitchen pepper. This spice, it's actually a seasoning. And it was used by the slaves back in the day because they didn't have spices like they do now. But they would mix certain spices, and each one was different so that they could put it on the food. So that it would make it taste better than just using just regular salt and pepper. Also, back in the day, back in that time period, the rich were the ones who benefited from the spices. And when it became where they was able to get it more, then that meant poor people could get it too. So the rich people, more or less, which was England and all those places which was getting it, they didn't want it when it became available to everybody. So that's why a lot of people talk about the food over there being so dull. They're getting better with it.
WW2 food over there.
They're getting better with it, but that's why they don't have spices. They didn't use spices after that. Use all the time. And then this right here, if I can show you this real quick. These are spices too in here. These are some from certain countries like African places, which I didn't know had spices like they did. And this is a different types colors of index cards. This is how I have separated my system I have for knowing what spice is what. So maybe we can do another time and I can show you more about what I have if you're still interested in case you want to use any of them.
Okay, go.
You're being mean to my Naya.
No, say you gotta be nice to my Naya.
You gotta be nice to my Naya.
Say or else.
Or else.
Now say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Okay.
Ready?
Tell me your stuff, Bill.
Well, the system that I have for using how I do my spices, I have a container just for salts. I have a container just for extras. Up here in the cabinet, I have a section where it's the warm spices or the baked spices they use for when, cooking like at the holidays.
Hold that thought.
Right beside them, on the other side of them, oh my goodness, is the spices like I use for regular cooking. You know how you have those ones that you need every so often. Up above it, the spices I have some that's tall down to the shoulders coming down in the front. I just sort of kind of can remember for the most part where everything is, believe it or not. Over here in this cabinet though are stuff like I have like bouillon and hot stuff, like some of my chilies that are ground up, different types of things like that. Sort of kind of miscellaneous here in the middle, but in the bottom everything is in bags. And the reason why they're still in bags is I know they say you shouldn't leave them in bags, but I really do like how they look on the outside. Because like the country that they come from, that's the main thing with me. I love stuff like this, and as you can see, this is mace. Mace is the outside of nutmeg, and you can buy it ground. You can get it a little bit more now than what you could, and I wanted to show y'all this real quick. This is the spice that I have. It's not really a spice, it's actually gold.
Bring it closer, let them see it.
It's actually, I don't know if you can.
Gotta be an influencer. I'm trying to help her, guys.
It's actually gold, edible gold. And I just got a little bit just to go with what I have to go with my spices. The thing about edible gold, y'all, is it's expensive to get, to put on food. It is expensive to put on food. But this is like, it has no taste. So all you're paying for is expensive poop.
Okay. Well, she said it. She said what she said.
It's the truth.
Heifers.
Thank you.